I'm so tired. There are so many trailers and so much news in such little time. Why did we get into this profession?
Because we love it, and we might slightly just be looking forward to the torture of it. But anyway, together we are the Give It Podcast, guys. And of course, even though we are a little bit more seasoned than usual, we do try to watch our language, but words do fly. At the same time, there may be things that might be shown that might be too intense for younger viewers. So viewer discretion is advised. Aside from that, welcome. So, episode 134, as Joe has said so eloquently, we got a lot of trailers. There's been a lot of news that has happened over the week. And, because we are following Super Bowl Sunday, we do have to start with the best of news because we kind of saw this coming. And honestly, we're not disappointed. What am I talking about? I am talking
Twisters.
Oh, I got some words for Twister. I got some words for Twister, but I'm talking about Deadpool and Wolverine. And here's the actual teaser trailer, I should say, for Deadpool and Wolverine. Check it out.
Happy birthday to you.
All right, okay. It's been a challenging few years, for sure, but I'm happy. That is because of each and every one of you. I'm the luckiest man alive.
Make a wish, buddy.
Wade Wilson?
Who's asking? Whoa, 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 whoa. Is that supposed to be scary? Pegging isn't new for me, friendo, but it is for Disney.
Mr. Wilson, you appear to have soiled yourself while unconscious.
I wasn't unconscious. Who are you? Why am I here?
Walk with me. Wade, you are special. This is your chance to be a hero among heroes.
I smell what you're stepping in, Sensei. Your little cinematic universe is about to change forever. I'm the Messiah. I am Marvel Jesus. God, please! Oh my God! God, I love this part. Wait! You don't just stand there, you ape. Give me a hand up. Nope, I'm actually okay. Thank you very much.
And as you can see, guys, that was the trailer for Deadpool Wolverine. Does come out July 26th of this year. Where do we start with this, Joe? Because number one, I'm not disappointed. I love every bit of this trailer. Since Super Bowl Sunday, folks have been trying to go through this trailer almost damn near down to a frame rate by frame rate to find things. Some folks have found Easter eggs. Some folks are speculating. All I can say, guys, is wait till July 26th. I don't have any speculation on how they're going with this, outside of the fact that we do see the TVAs involved. We do see that there may be some multiverse travel afoot. We do see that a lot of the people from Deadpool 2 are actually still back in 3, just because of the events that happened with 2. So also Pyro from X-Men happened to be there. So I don't know, Joe. What do you think?
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack on this thing. Honestly, I think this is going to play out like every Deadpool comic, where Deadpool is happy, and then something takes away that happiness, and then shenanigans, and then he gets his happiness. The thing I am noticing about this is I think Vanessa and Wade are over, which is why she called him Buddy and not Babe or anything like that.
Okay.
And it's because he's like retired from the mercenary life. He's got that horrible hero piece and whatnot. And he is taking the TVA up on Let Me Find the Timeline where we're still happy together.
Yeah.
Also, at the same time, I also think he is searching for the MC Wolverine and is going to be on the mission to snuff out all the other Wolverines across the multiverse, and what other X-Men may fall, because we very clearly see he's a Madripoor at one point, and Patch,
Yeah.
which is Wolverine with the eye patch. That's his Madripoor alias. We get Hugh Jackman in the costume that has already been shown.
Multiple
We see
times.
that he does have white lenses as the mask.
Mhm.
We see that there's a wasteland where the Fox logo is half buried under sand.
Mhm.
Pyro, which is the actual young man who was Pyro in X-Men 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Original X-Men 2 and 3, not First Class 2 and 3. He is a full-grown adult and with somebody, possibly Toad. Kind of unsure who the other dude in the cloak was. But
I
he
can
may
do
be
that.
a main villain, or the villain for that universe is
Mhm.
Pyro's still around.
Yeah.
This is a lot to unpack here.
Also, just to get the comments in, Mont2Stupid615 said, I want to see it now. Whoop-de freaking dude, thank you for watching. This is the first and last trailer that I'm watching. I understand. Just because news, there's always something else that's going to come out and say, hey, this was in the movie, this was in the trailer, or this was in the trailer. What does it mean? I get it. I completely get the whole idea of just waiting for the movie to come out just because we can enjoy it and not analyze it to death. I completely understand that part. But what are you gonna say, Joe?
Unfortunately, we don't get that.
No. I mean, that's
So.
Mhm.
What else? What else? Yeah, they've been pointing out stuff left and right in this trailer. We're gonna leave that alone. I mean, there's just so many things. Browsers, block your screen, the icon, blah blah blah. So
I mean,
yeah, when the
I mean,
new trailer comes out, of course we'll look at it. But we have to look at it. That's the name of our game.
Yeah, that's the name of our deal. You're right. But yeah, I mean, just overall, can we honestly say that we're not disappointed because we knew a trailer was coming, but we're not disappointed how Ryan Reynolds did this. Try saying that 5 times fast. We are not disappointed in how Ryan Reynolds did this, but I just love the fact that because he treats Deadpool like his baby, like whatever is associated with it, he's behind it. He makes sure it happens. At the same time, I am honestly not disappointed at all. So again, with Deadpool coming out July 26th, and like Joe said, I'm pretty sure there's probably gonna be another trailer coming out for it because let's be honest, Disney's gonna take their first R-rated hero and just go with it because if you haven't guys noticed in the trailer, he did drop the F-bomb. Something that's never been done on a Disney trailer, that the F-bomb was dropped, which I think was very bold of Disney, but at the same time, I'm surprised they let it go. But again,
It'll be the second time it's been said to Disney in a Marvel movie.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird that we didn't think Disney would do it, but hey, maybe they're changing a leaf, or maybe they realize that they need to actually give us concrete movies. But switching gears for a second,
has promised up and down that Deadpool would be rated R.
Yeah, so as long as they don't mess with that, we're good. But move right along, guys. I guess, like Joe said, we do have trailers. I did want to do this one as well because I, for one, am looking forward to a movie that's based on a play I haven't seen, but I have a good idea out of. What I'm talking about, guys, is the trailer for Wicked. If you haven't seen it, here's the trailer.
The best way to bring folks together
Something has changed within me.
is to give them a real good enemy.
You're green.
I am.
Something is not the same.
Something just takes over me. And when it does, bad things happen. Once you learn to harness your emotions, the sky's the limit.
Bring her to me.
Don't be afraid. I'm not afraid. It's the wizard who should be afraid of me.
The best way to
Okay, sorry about that, guys. So that was the trailer for Wicked. Now I will fully admit this. I know it is based on a play. I have never seen it. My sister has seen it, loves it, and I do have a gist of the actual play and what the movie's going to be about. Does this trailer make me want to watch it? Actually, yes. I love the fact. I really do love the fact that, it's certain movies that you don't think you want to watch, that when you watch the trailer, you go, okay, I want to give it a shot. But yeah, I'm down to watch this once it comes to the big screen this Thanksgiving. Joe, your thoughts on that?
I'm very confused why this is a 2-part film when the stage play is only an hour and a half and the book is not long enough to substantiate a two full length picture films.
Maybe that I would say maybe they're getting back to the old part 1 and part 2. Maybe, like I said, I don't know how to play with go, but
there's no point in it. It's like what they did with The Hobbit. And look how well that turned out.
Well, The Hobbit. Well, let's be honest. We tell people all the time. There's so much story in The Hobbit that the movies never really covered. But hopefully, to push people to read it, because again, there's a lot more stories in The Hobbit than just the Battle of the Five Armies, the Desolation of Smaug, and
No. I mean, like The Hobbit, not everything.
You're talking about the overall?
Hobbit. No.
Okay. I know what you're talking about. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's a very small thing that is told in, like, again, an hour and a half, 2 hours, and doesn't need to be multiple movies. This is the same thing. The book is not that big.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a Broadway play that starts and ends, has its full start, middle, and end in an hour and a half, 2 hours. Why are we getting 2 full-length feature pictures about this? Like,
see, that's where I say I'm a little bit in the dark about this. And whoop-de freaking do, she said, I've seen the play 3 times, read the book, and I love the soundtrack. For all those that have, and again, this is me speaking on the side of never seeing the play, but I do want to see the movie. For those that have seen the play or those that have read the book, and let us know in the comments what you think. Is the reason why it's going to be a 2-parter because of the layout of the play or the book, or just maybe stuff that we don't know? Like I said, this is new territory for me as far as plays go. There are some plays I do love watching. And like I said, the only person in my family that's seen Wicked is my sister, and she loves it. But watching this trailer, it just makes me very interested in watching it. And Vaughn, what did you say? She played Aretha Franklin. She's in everything. I'm assuming you're meaning what is her name? And it's going to be terrible that I don't know it right now. Let us see, because I know Jonathan Bailey, Ethan Slater, of course, Jeff Goldblum. I think we saw Michelle Yeoh in there. For all those that know that's the person that is playing the main character, please help me out, because apparently I don't know her name, and I apologize for not knowing her name. But for everything else, like I said, it just
Erivo?
Say it one more time.
Cynthia Erivo?
We'll go with that.
Is that it?
I'm gonna go with that because I'm trusting you at the moment. But if it is, and we apologize. But yeah, I can understand that kind of viewpoint. But like I said, we don't know as far as how the play runs, because some plays can run to where it's 2 movies, or maybe you want to give it its full continuity. I don't know, so I try not to assume as much when it does come to plays. But for those that have seen it, like we said, guys, just let us know what you think, and we'll pretty much go from there. But I think Thanksgiving, I can honestly say I'm going to watch another play in movie form.
I think they're also doing damage control with this trailer now too, because they're very much minimizing the Ariana Grande stuff, considering the hot water she's currently in.
Oh, probably so. I mean, we've seen what happens when a certain wrestling organization has to turn around and do the same thing in 86 everybody. So maybe maybe not on the same scale as that damage, but damage control nonetheless. But we'll see. But really quickly before we get to our next trailer, guys, for all those that are wondering, especially if you're the Mandalorian type, yes, the video game is currently in works. Respawn will be behind it. From what we've been told, it will be a first-person shooter. A lot of people thought it would be third person, but in this case, it's going to be first person. You will be doing exactly what the Mandalorian will be doing, taking bounties for cash. You'll have separate missions. You will have all his jetpack. You have the jetpack, grappling hook, things of that nature. As of yet. Now, there isn't a release date. Like I said, guys, Respawn just announced that they're currently working on that. And if you know who Respawn is, it's the same group that actually does Apex Legends. So just to give you an idea. So I think it's actually going to be pretty well for that. Joe, I know you don't play. Joe, remind me, do you play first-person shooters or third-person shooters?
I play first person if it's cyberpunk based, but generally I'm a third person shooter, and because this is not a third person shooter, my interest is now greatly diminished by 50%.
Fair enough.
I would
Go ahead. Oh, Joe, you muted yourself. Sorry. Try again.
There we go.
All right, what were you saying beforehand before you got muted?
I was saying, like, it doesn't make sense that it's first person, considering Mandalorian can be possibly doing a lot of platforming and whatnot, kind of like a Cal Kestis game, and this really should be a third person game.
Well, it's in early development, so I'd probably say they either give you the option or they would switch it. Kind of like what they did with Resident Evil. Like they install a third person. They install a third person shooter in Resident Evil in a village. So
that, or just mod Yoshi's Island to make it where it's Yoshi is Mando and Grogu is Baby Mario, and just keep everything going instead of firing eggs or shooting blaster pistols.
Yeah, possibly. But like I said, we'll see as that comes along, guys. We probably won't expect any news, honestly, about that till maybe some of our games next year. But again, we'll see. Now, the next trailer that we do got, guys, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not really too blown away by it. No pun intended. At the same time, I'm wondering why we need it, because Hollywood seems like to recycle old ideas. We're not talking about Roadhouse, guys. We're talking about Twisters. If you haven't seen the trailer, here it is.
Guys, whatever's in there, it's big and it's moving fast. Drive. Go, go, go! Look out! Guys, you gotta get out of here! It's Tyler Owens. Calls himself a tornado wrangler. If you feel it, chase it! I said if you feel it, chase it! All right, here we go. Oh, she's perfect.
She's gorgeous.
You thought you could destroy a tornado.
We never had a chance.
You want one? You don't face your fears. You ride them.
We got twins! Twins! Is that it?
Nope.
Okay, guys. So as you can see, that was the trailer for Twisters. Will be in theaters this July. If you're wondering, yes, it might be a ode homage to the original 1996 movie that had Helen Hunt and Bill Paxton in it. Will we watch it? I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. And the reason why I don't know is because I mean Hollywood has this thing about regurgitating movies. Some are good, some are bad. I don't know about this one because number one, first off, to be a storm chaser is freaking crazy. Number two, to make a movie about it and make it interesting, which Twisters in 96 did do. But now that we're in 2024 and we're getting another Twisters movie, I'm curiosity right now is grabbing me to sit there and say I want to give it a shot. But Joe, what do you think as I'm pulling up this comment?
Mr. Fonomax, I haven't seen him in a while. I hope he's doing well. This is actually from over from Total Justice Gaming's comment section. It's more like a next generation movie. Yeah, just maybe like Helen Hunt's daughter or something. I don't know. Like I didn't see the first Twisters. I'm not a natural disaster porn person. I'm not a. I mean, that's what they were. Remember, almost every movie was like,
I mean, you're
the
not
world's
wrong.
going to end because natural disaster.
Do not
I mean,
look. You are not
One of this
wrong.
is
I'm not
big
going to argue that.
tornado, but what if two big tornado?
I mean, don't get me wrong. And I agree with Mr. Final Max. It is an interesting flick. Do I think? I think in some ways it is going to pay homage. I think there is going to be a link between Helen Hunt's character and maybe one of the characters here, or Bill Paxton. It may be one of maybe his kid, or maybe it's a relative in some way. But it's interesting enough for me to want to watch it. It really does. What did you say, Vaughn? This is the trend that never ends. Does it even matter anymore? I would agree to a certain point, but I think for Twisters, because at first I was like, why do we need another natural disaster movie? But then I thought about what made Twister great. Twister was different really from other natural disaster movies just because it was almost like a Walking Dead, but tornadoes. Like tornadoes were everywhere. They were destructive. You knew it, but it was really more about the people around it that were storm chasing. And that's what made it great. Do I think that this Twisters could do the same thing? Possibly. But to me, I'm like, I may give it a shot. I'm just going to be completely honest about that. I actually may give that a shot, but that's just me.
I mean, for me, it's I prefer when our natural disasters are cleverly disguised as large green lizards that stomp through cities.
Godzilla, how we knew. But anyway, yeah, come July, like I said, if we're in the movie theater, July, that might be a little bit close to me for D-Day. But anyway,
I was going to say, isn't Deadpool also coming out in July?
Yeah, that's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, no, that will not be a challenge. There is no challenge there.
Leave it be, Joe. Leave it be. Anyway, moving right along, guys. Kyle Rayner. I know it's weird. We're jumping from Twisters to Green Lantern. As Joe made that face.
Wait, what are we talking about? Green Lanterns, Kamen Rider? I'm confused.
No, because you made that face whenever I say Kyle Rayner, just because I know of your level.
Oh, Kyle Rayner. I thought you said Kamen Rider. Are we talking about the fact that Geet's got shit? But okay, no, we can cover this too. I misheard you completely.
Sorry. No, I am talking about the fact that for the Green Lantern, he has actually not been a lot of things. So there is a swelling of people asking, when are we going to see the most, I won't say the most famous Green Lantern, but a known Green Lantern in the comics. According to writer Jeremy Adams, he will be appearing in an actual story with Dawn of DC. They're actually talking about Green Lantern issue number 8, to where the story is going to be focusing on Kyle Rayner himself. If you've heard Joe if you watched and listened to this podcast, you heard Joe. Joe has a certain how can we put this, Joe, toward Kyle Rayner?
He is my sweet baby child, and he can do nothing wrong.
I mean, yeah, if you've heard it, that's his go-to. That's his go-to Green Lantern, not Hal Jordan. Because
now we actually would be talking about that more literally today, but there's so much we actually can't get to comics today because there's just so much going on.
Right.
But we have that is on our list to read for next week.
Right. So that way we can actually see the story and see what they do. But thank God for the artists, because if you followed us, you know there's a certain artist that's doing Spider-Man right now that makes us cringe.
The Green Lantern book, as much as I despise that book, even though now they're adding Razor, so the book's actually really good and quite tolerable because they're doing new things with the Green Lantern Corps, which I like. Regardless of how and whatnot, they're doing new things. They're adding characters from the very popular Green Lantern animated series, like Razor is now canon. Aya is now canon. Technically, I guess you could say this happened at some point. The Green Lantern animated series technically happened at some point in their reality.
Yeah.
So there's that. But no, the backup shows Kyle how he's dealing with the new arc and whatnot, and he's teaming up with the newest Green Lantern, Sojourn Mullins.
Gotcha.
Sojourner.
Also, whoopty freaking do. I'm sorry, I didn't see your comment. They lost me at Twins, so I know you're referring to Twisters and You Up. Oh, whoops, my bad. I'm not gonna. I don't know who you asking up, whoopty. I'm not gonna judge. I'm just gonna assume it's not for us. But anyway. Moving right along, guys. We do have some other comic book news, but before we do that, we have to talk about Godzilla Kong for a second. Because the new trailer they put out, I got questions. Specifically how they did this. It makes me wonder: is Godzilla and Kong basically the new Lethal Weapon? You'll figure out what I mean when I play this trailer.
For centuries, there was harmony. The Titans were the guardians of nature, and the great apes became the protectors of humanity. We've discovered a signal. She can feel it. Kong, Godzilla, they can feel it too. Something is coming. Something even they're afraid of.
You feel like going for a ride?
Thought you'd never ask.
Just try not to swallow your tongue.
What?
Oh my God!
Is that a mini Kong?
Oh my God.
That's not just a signal. That's a call for war. What is that?
Kong can't stop this on his own.
He won't be alone.
The last time those two met up, it was almost the end of Kong.
They don't have to like each other. We just have to work together.
Now I have seen everything.
We've made some minor augmentations.
Oh.
Okay, real quick. Do you know how angry you got to be to literally throw half a skyscraper at somebody? Wow. Guys, as you see right there, that was the trailer for Godzilla Kong: The New Empire. Will be coming out March 29th, which actually is my son's birthday. Yeah, that's Obi's birthday. 29th. Well, actually, no, his birthday's the 25th, so it's actually 4 days after that. My bad. But no, Joe, I gotta ask because again, I have to agree with Mr. Final Max. Kong with Power Fist is kind of dope. I was gonna call him Gundam Kong because I'm like, I need to see the rest of the armor. I'm digging that. I'm with you on that, Mr. Final Max. I'm not gonna lie. Also, you and Corey Kelvin think alike. He called this a buddy cop movie. I think. Look, you have.
But we just need to know which one is sitting on the toilet bomb, so we for sure know which one is Murtaugh and which one is the other one.
Right. So it's like it is kind of that because you have two. You basically have two. I won't even call them enemies, but they're basically rivals. They can't stand each other. They will fight each other.
Duke and Schmertz and Perry the Platypus.
Yeah, let's go with that. But it's interesting how they're doing this against the Scar King, which I love that. And again, kind of giving Kong. I'm not saying giving Kong weaponry is not going to happen because let's be honest. Godzilla doesn't need it. Although for all those are wondering, it's like, why is he pink? Do a quick Google search on how radiation works. You'll understand it's a color spectrum that goes with it.
Yeah, it also explains why he has an can produce an EMP wave in this one. Apparently, Godzilla just has like different modes now. Now he can be burning Godzilla. Now he can be Electro Godzilla.
I'm not against that.
Godzilla.
But honestly, I'm not against that though. I'm really not against the fact that Godzilla always has another power. It doesn't make him seem like he's Goku. So I can't knock him too much for that. Whoopie freaking do. This trailer, I don't hate it. Hey, I am a Godzilla fan. I'm just gonna be honest. A Godzilla King Kong fan ever since the -1 series, and of course Skull Island, which again was still a great way to reboot Kong. But for this one, because it is New Empire, because they do have a common enemy, and Godzilla got upgrades, I'm not knocking it. I want to watch it. But Joe, any thoughts on that?
My only issue with this is the human characters. I do not care about the legendary human. Well, let me rephrase that. I do not care about your human character cast unless they are the cast from Monarch, the Apple series. I don't know why we need more carryover cast than the last two ones. Like, I understand the little girl from the Lost Tribe. She's necessary. I completely understand her.
Yeah.
I don't understand why anybody else is in this film, and her caretaker. Maybe. I don't understand why anybody else is in this film. We do not care about the comedic styles of this one dude, the conspiracy theory dude. We're here for.
Well, actually, I'm gonna not to cut you off. I kind of like him. I do like Tyree Henry actually getting his role.
Oh, I don't mind him as a person, but in this film, when you're no longer a conspiracy nut because everything your thing is proven, your arc's done. Why are you here?
Well, that is true. It's is he an expert now, or is he like Tyrese in Transformers? He just happens to show up.
He just happens to. I think he's just there to scream at this point. Like, and again, I like the actor. He's fantastic in everything he does. But his character in the last movie was it's all conspiracy.
Yeah,
and then they proved he was right.
Yeah,
his story's done. Why is he back?
No, I completely agree. I want to see where I do want to see what his character will be like. I'm just really surprised at the characters from Godzilla versus Kong and the Godzilla before this. Those two sets of characters are gone, and it's like, did we just end their stories back on the previous movie, or are we starting anew?
I just don't think Millie Bobby Brown pulls in as much as she does, or it could be a conflict of scheduling with the newest, what's it called, Stranger Things?
Yeah. Oh, Stranger Things used to wrap up. Them kids are damn near teenage. Them kids are damn near adults now. So they had to hurry up and film the last season of Stranger Things because those guys are not kids anymore. But also,
Joko Godzilla power. That's just the Green Ranger power, Vaughn. We called him Dragon Caesar for a reason in Japan.
But I'm sorry, I just had a really bad Power Ranger joke behind that. Anyway,
from the comic?
Yeah, I just had a really bad Godzilla joke from that. But let me leave that alone.
I'm surprised they're keeping Arctic Blast Godzilla out of this, which is what the other monster is.
That is a good question. That is a fair point. But maybe, I don't know. Maybe we'll see. But before we get to our next show, guys, just some quick news and also covering Fantastic Four. The quick news itself that I wanted to get to before we get to the Fantastic Forecasting is that casting. I made it sound like it was a weather report. So Marvel and DC, remember the crossover? You guys remember? I guess if you were me or Joe's age or of the associated people that are watching, we certainly appreciate it. You guys probably remember that at one point DC and Marvel actually had crossover episodes. One between Superman and Spider-Man, Batman and Daredevil, Justice League versus the Avengers. The beauty part about this is they are basically going to go now and reprint all of those. So the entire DC versus Marvel omnibus, that's from, I want to say, from 1976 all the way to 2000. All of those are being reprinted. And if you don't have them as a comic book collector like myself and Joe, it's a golden time. Because like I said, when I tell you guys, for all those that don't know, there was a comic, like I talked about, between Spider-Man and Superman. You had Batman and Daredevil. You had Batman, Captain America. You had Batman and Punisher. You had Darkseid versus Galactus, Green Lantern versus Silver Surfer, Unholy Alliances, Incredible Hulk versus Superman. Marvel and DC present the Uncanny X-Men and the new Teen Titans, Silver Surfer Superman. And again, I can keep going down the line. Like when I tell you guys, there are so many crossovers, and this is just a small list that they're showing right there. Like, again, I'll be all night if we go all over it. But the fact that each of these are being reprinted makes me want to go out there and collect them. And again, as a person that loves crossover issues, between Marvel and DC, I am digging this. But Joe, any thoughts on this?
Oh, I'm especially looking forward to the Amalgam Universe. I was big into that because we had such wonderfully edgy characters as Dark Claw and Sparrow, and Super Soldier and Spider Boy, where it was Ben Reilly and Connor Kent fused together.
Yeah.
With Perry White being the new editor of the Daily Bugle. And go down because they actually have a list of almost everybody.
Oh yeah,
they have like what are some of the goofier ones? Lobo Duck, the Duck, Iron Lantern, and the most laziest one of all, Doctor Strange and Dr. Fate fusing into Doctor Strange Fate.
Yeah. So it's when I tell you guys, and again, this is why we keep saying all the time, support your local comic book stores because I believe these will be reprinted or available from DC and Marvel August the 6th. So you got some time, guys, to definitely get that. So definitely check out your local comic book stores come August the 6th for those issues. Again, get them while you can because there's no telling when we're actually going to get another chance like this, especially from a comic book collecting side of it.
The other reason they're doing this is they want to see if the market's out there to actually cross over. Because what I don't think some people realize is the writers currently staffed in both DC and Marvel are our age. Now, the editorial is something completely different. I can't help you with that.
Yeah.
But they are the same age as us, meaning they grew up with the Amalgam Universe. And if you look at the comic industry as much as we look at it and as what do? We see writers jumping back and forth all the time between the big two. Sometimes over in IDW and Image as well. They are all friends in the grand scheme of things. Like not some of them are buddy, some of them are acquaintances, but some of them are pretty good friends. They can make Amalgam happen again now because they all know each other to a degree. like it's 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, but everybody is, I believe, all the writers are aware of each other.
Yeah. So again,
your Chip Zdarsky knows your Josh Williamson, who knows your
Mhm.
Jed McKay, who knows your Dan Slott, who knows your Zeb Wells, who knows your David Warren Johnson, and we can keep going on and on and on, but everybody's there. The only thing that we got to prove to them is we want this, and then editorial will have to listen to us because we're going to be buying the books, and then we get Dark Claw 2 or New Dark Claw, where it's a fusion of Huntress and Laura, or I don't know.
But while you're thinking of that, Lifty freaking dude did say who won between Superman and the Hulk. That, did we ever get a solid answer?
No,
to that?
it was Superman because we were dealing with Doc Green's. It was Doc Green Hulk at that point.
Oh, right.
Now we have not come up with the other Hulks at this point. I think the other Hulks may be a bit of a different thing for Superman because Superman is greatly depowered from that point.
Yeah.
And we have stuff like the Immortal Hulk and World Breaker now in our grab bag of Hulks.
That's true. But
So,
anyway, guys,
different thing now.
yeah. But like I said, August 6th, it's a great time. Please support your local comic book stores because again, as Joe said, our dollar determines if we get more of this. What do you say? America won in that fight.
He did not. Batman fought dirty and beat Captain America.
That he did. And I still respect that. And you know what the funny part is? Cap kind of respected him for it. Kind of. But that's a story for another day. Move right along, guys. We do have the main star that'll be in the new Karate Kid movie. That does star Ralph Macchio and Jackie Chan. The man that you see right there will be basically the new Karate Kid. And forgive me if I don't get his name right. So
Ben Wong.
Thank you.
Ben Wong.
Thank you. That's the name I was looking for. If you noticed him, he was actually in American Born Chinese. Also a good show on Disney before they decided to. Did Disney cancel American Born Chinese?
Yeah, it got canceled. I don't know why. They were setting up for season 2.
Okay, because I thought it had a good first season. But anyway, check it out on Disney Plus if you get a chance. But he actually is going to be the main character in the new Karate Kid movie. I'm looking forward to it. I know some people had some qualms with the Jackie Chan and the Jaden Smith version, and of course Ralph Macchio coming back, even though Cobra Kai will have its 6th and final season on Netflix. To be kind of honest, after watching his character, I got nothing against it. I kind of want to see what they do with this Karate Kid movie, having Mr. Han and the original Karate Kid back. So I'm all for it. I don't think it's a bad casting. What do you think about, Joe?
No, I'm down for it. All the more Asian representation out there. I love that we get Jackie Chan as Mr. Han again. Teach us to be able to put on our jackets and take them back off and then put them back on it again. It'll just be like protecting Tennessee weather all over again.
Ain't that the truth?
I have no idea how this plays into the timeline of Cobra Kai, though. But I mean, I'm sure they'll drop like some sort of hint.
I have to think it's probably post that, just because it's kind of actually that might be wrong. You actually may have a point. That is a good question. How would that fall with the Cobra Kai timeline? Because that's current. Geek by Heart. Hey, Lenny said that the Jaden Smith wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that it was bad, it's that it was poorly named. It's not doing karate, it's kung fu. They're
two different styles.
It's like Pokemon. Not every Pokemon is named Pikachu. Not every martial arts style is named karate.
I never could take Jaden Smith that well as an actor. That's just me. But again, guys, like we said,
he's not horrible. You just don't pair him with his dad. That's all.
No argument there. Even though Will Smith, incredible actor, let's be honest, it's just that when it comes to his children, but
also I forgot that M. Night Shyamalan directed that movie, so there's also bad parts there.
M. Night Shyamalan is shaking his head at Netflix right now with what they're doing with Last Airbender. I can't wait to watch that. But anyway, Fantastic Four news came out, and Joe, I believe you have an image that you wanted to bring up.
Well, put the actual image up first, and then we'll put up the Filipino one. Okay,
well, let me do that then. So this is the image that has basically been out, guys. If you haven't noticed, Fantastic Four's casting has been done. Some of them we already knew about, of course. Pedro Pascal, the Mandalorian, The Last of Us. We can keep going down the line. He will be playing Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. Vanessa Kirby, my apologies, will be taking on the role of the Invisible Woman, Sue Storm. Edmond Moss Barak will be playing as Ben Grimm is the Thing, and Joseph Quinn from Stranger Things will be playing Johnny Storm, which, as you can see right there with the character, it does show them all there. Now, for a lot of people that are wondering about the movie, from what we've been told, it will start in the 60s, concerning the fact that if you look at how the drawing, the art form, the robot, the magazine that Grimm is holding, as long as with the astronaut picture in the background, this looks like it's going to be set up during the 60s. Now, I know for a lot of people, we're kind of wondering how this sets up with the current MCU. It could be a fast forward play. It could be a time where, as we know, on our other podcast on Blurred's Eye View, some colleagues and I were kind of discussing how they can actually set this up. But let's just be happy we have a casting for Fantastic Four right now, and I am not mad about anybody that was picked. I think these are all great picks. Even though Mr. Krasinski did give us a wonderful Reed Richards, but I can understand that was multiverse, therefore it was possible to do that. But I'm not against Pedro Pascal playing on Reed Richards or anybody else for that matter. But Joe, what do you think?
Oh no, I'm loving it. I am loving it. It is okay with this. Here's the problem, though. This is the biggest issue I've seen, that they have put themselves into the corner because no matter who they cast, no one's going to like who they cast for Doom.
See,
I even saw on IGN. IGN themselves have even posted a new article that says they are doomed to fail no matter what. The best thing to do is keep Doom in full costume and just hire a voice actor.
And I love what Mr. Final Max says. We can be okay with this as long as we don't use Doom too quickly, like the last couple attempts. The thing about it is, I'm just gonna throw this out there. I don't want Doom to be readily available. I will completely agree with that, but I want him to be in the shadows. I want him to be in the shadows as we introduce the Fantastic Four, because the Fantastic Four has plenty of other enemies, but let's be honest, the arch enemy of them all is Doctor Doom. And Joe, you got a point about the article. It's like, we could sit there and say, so-and-so could play Doctor Doom. Giancarlo Esposito could play Doctor Doom. Skarsgård, Mads Mikkelsen. These actors that have so much depth can play such and I don't call Doctor Doom a villain. I wish, of course, my other colleague, Chris Fury over at Blurred's Eye View, me and both him have said this. We can't really call Doctor Doom a villain. He's more of just a complicated individual that has a nice set of rules and he knows manners. That's pretty much him. But yeah, it does come to this whole thing of just who would you cast for Doctor Doom? Because, like you said, it becomes an issue. What do you say, guys? Whoopie freaking do. All the dinos in Jurassic Park aren't from the Jurassic era. Fair. What do you say, Laney? Geez, Pedro is crying to the bank. 3 huge franchises. Whoopie freaking do did ask, who would you cast for Doctor Doom, though? And, of course, Mads Mikkelsen's would be a solid choice. That would be me or Giancarlo Esposito but then I thought about it. As much as they would be great actors, their presence, their facial expressions, everything about them is what makes them great at acting. Doom is basically in a suit. So technically, you can kind of pull an Eltron here. And what I mean by that is James Spader, who played Eltron, who did the voice of Eltron, he was perfect. But Eltron is a machine. All you need to do is voice him and, give him life that way. Could the same thing be done for Doctor Doom? I believe so. Just because nobody will argue over the voice. Nobody argues over the voice, but everybody can come to a conclusion like, yep, he's the right person. Hey, Tafari.
I live again, barely.
I bet you okay?
Dude, I feel like I got punched in the face, but I'm all right.
All right, what you gonna say, Joe?
So, if we are going to cast anybody, I would do the smart thing: is cast somebody, let them fight, let them beat Doom, and then at the end of the movie, when he's defeated, we learn it's been a Doombot this whole time.
Interesting.
And then we cut to the real Doom, and he's either healing, or he's frozen, or he's in some sort of ensorcelled state, or something. Let it be like once played the writer who broke up the Rockefeller.
Railroad. Okay.
So like let it do the Doom thing. Let it be a Doombot. Let them cast whatever celebrity they want, and let it turn out to be a Doombot at the end of the movie. And because Doom's been masterminding something much bigger and grander the whole time in the background.
Yeah.
And then we cast like the real Doom. It's like what they did with Thanos. Thanos was just initially just a voice, and then we got what's his name in the grand scheme of things?
James Brolin? Josh Brolin, sorry. But Safari, really quickly, man, because I know you came on. So just to backtrack a little bit, we did actually do the Deadpool. We actually did Deadpool Wolverine trailer. We did the Wicked trailer. We actually just before this one did Godzilla Kong: The New Empire, and of course now, and your thoughts on those three trailers before we get your thoughts on the Doom casting.
I was born in '95, so I don't know the hype of Wicked outside of a South Park episode. Deadpool's going to be insane. Still need to see why Kong has like looter shooter attachments that he stole from squads he's been beating in Middle Earth, but I'm game for most of those. I might go see Wicked. If somebody wants to go, I might go see Wicked, but I don't have the initial time that other people do.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna go see it. Just because I haven't seen the play.
It's a Wizard of Oz-esque movie, right?
Yeah. Whoop de freaking do. Hear me out, Carl Urban. I could see Carl Urban playing Doom to a certain point because he's got range too. But yeah, Tafari, I'm gonna throw this to you. Do you think that Doom can be played by somebody, or should it just be a full on armor with the voice actor?
Okay, so my pick for this could be both. Why not have Keith David? I feel like he would do a good sinister Doom, especially if you don't see his face.
Yeah.
And you just need a body act, like kind of like Mandalorian. You just need a body actor to do the stunts, but you keep the mask on.
I can see that too. It's just what you gonna say, Joe? Your mind's turning. What you got?
My only issue with that is we still need somebody vaguely European sounding.
See, that's where I go to Mad Nicholson again.
Yeah, but his voice is too high for Doom. And, this comes from being spoiled with, like, some of the other Doom things from across the generations. Like, Doom to me is Simon Templeton. And for those who don't know who that is, Kane from the Legacy of Kane.
I can see that.
He was the voice of Doom for the 90s. But that 90s thing. But he to me is Doom.
I can see that too. I can see that too if you go the voice acting route. I can see that. But yeah, that does become the question. But like I said, I don't need to see Doom in the initial Fantastic Four. I don't need to see it. I'd rather him be in the shadows for the first one, and then we eventually build up to him. But like Mr. Final Max said, we don't need to go to Doom immediately for the first movie. We don't.
Yeah, I mean, don't give us Mole Man. That's a bad idea. I just don't think Mole Man's going to do it. If we're going to do something, make it grand, make it like spectacular. Like give us Blastar or something.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Give us like Blastar or one of the lesser heroes. Don't make it immediately Silver Surfer. Maybe like Skyrider or Firelord or even better. Here's how you get it. You just make them fight Terrax.
There you go. Take a lesser known, and this is that's a beautiful example of taking a lesser known or maybe not as popular villain and give them center stage. Do the James Gunn treatment. Make us care about that villain, and you'll have a good movie.
No, we don't need to care about that villain. Let it be Terax and let him fight them, and then allude to, oh, I'm just the vanguard. My master's on the way.
And that's perfect, but because you're still pushing that connection there.
Mm-hmm.
You're still pushing it. Don't get me wrong. You're
He's
still
going
pushing.
to be a throwaway villain, but
Yeah.
It's like my master's on the way. It's like, well, who's his master? That giant purple man in the sky over there.
Yeah. But Keith David would be a great choice. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Lanny, I agree with that too. He would be a great choice. I apologize, guys, because I'm hopping between Twitch, Instagram, and Facebook. So if it looks like I'm going across all three screens, because
I do love the Doombot bit, because that was basically like Doom all throughout the run of the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon. Was they thought they would beat him, and then it was a Doombot, and Fury was like, "You all would be dead if that was the real Doom. Don't go over there anymore."
Right.
If it wasn't for the fact that he was dead, Ed Asner.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that too.
Let him do his what was he in Gargoyles?
He was
Hudson.
the
let him do Hudson. Just let him do Hudson.
Yeah,
as Doom.
Now, did we want to show this artwork, Joe, that you have set up, or did you
Yes,
want to?
I mean, I just want to show that because it's beautiful.
Okay.
Oh wait, I gotta actually.
Yeah, you gotta have it showing on your side. Yeah, there it is. So again, I forgot who was the artist for this one, Joe?
Phil Noto. We automatically know if you've watched this thing. If Phil Noto draws it, Joe will immediately buy the book.
But yeah. But again, with Fantastic Four, guys, the casting seems great. We're not sure about exactly what they'll do with the story. You know, we can speculate, but I think for now we're just going to be happy that we're getting a movie. And at the same time, I think for the next trailer, we're about to show, I think we're going to be happy that we're actually getting this. And
well,
actually,
we actually know what the original plans for Fantastic Four were.
Oh, well, go ahead before I play this. Go ahead.
We know that their original plans were they were going to fight Ramatut.
Oh yeah, that was supposed to be the tie-in. That was supposed to be the tie-in to Mr. Trackstar.
Jane Dynasty.
I can't say it with a straight face. Every time I think Gucci loafers, I'm like, you were running with an ascot and Gucci loafers, sir. Woo,
look,
okay.
Daniel Richards wants to be comfy in ancient Egypt.
I mean, you
know what? Could give us the recast.
I mean, Deadpool could. You know what? Let me shut up. Anyway, let me go on to the next one before that joke gets us banned. X-Men 97. The trailer did show, and with that trailer came, well, idiots. But let's play the trailer first, so that way you guys know exactly what we're talking about.
Watch the series finale of X-Men next Saturday morning. Check your local listings.
I'm grateful to have the chance to say goodbye. I am proud of you all, my X-Men.
Fate lies in our hands now. Now.
We have to stay vigilant. The professor entrusted us with his dream.
No matter how dark it is, we must believe in each other.
We get this done by working together as a team.
Jeez, Bob, keep buzzing in my ear.
Heads up!
To me, my X-Men.
Magneto.
The last will and testament of Charles Xavier. Everything he built now belongs to me.
Tafari, I'm going to repeat a line that you said yesterday when this got played. You remember what you said?
I said a lot. I know I started off with maybe it's Maybelline.
I think it was something about Magneto and Garnier fruits. Oh, how'd that go?
Yeah, that was Mayhem started with Garnier Fructis, and I said, or maybe it's Maybelline, or he's been eating the finest juices and berries in all of Krakoa.
I mean, wow. But yes, that was the trailer for X-Men 97. As you guys can see, we'll be streaming. Forgot the date already. March 20th, I believe, was the date. What'd you say, Joe?
I said it'll be streaming in a month.
Yeah, in a month. So we're not too far off from that. What did you say, Vaughn? Looks like Magneto's about to sing "We're Not Gonna Take It." Twisted Sister reference. I dig it. Animation is very stiff.
That's not surprising. This is probably like a real cut.
Yeah.
I would say it looks like a blend of like Marvel animation is playing a lot with like the CG almost. Like it's either full on What If or they have elements of it.
Yeah. I mean,
so go ahead, real quick.
No. I was gonna play. I was gonna say the Wolverine Gambit, Mr. Final Max, the Wolverine Gambit combo looked cool. Actually,
yeah, we've never done that. Nice. I wonder why not.
That looked nice. But what are you gonna say, Joe?
Okay, so which controversy do we want to cover first? The fact that Morpheus is considered non-binary, the fact that people are now saying X-Men is woke, the fact that Magneto is running the school, the fact that Jean Grey is pregnant. Now half the people watching this thinks it's Madeline Pryor. The fact, I mean, we got like 5 or 6 different controversies we can talk about on this.
Well, let's knock out the top. We'll knock out the top 3 because for time. So Morph being woke because
Morph is not binary. It's X-Men as a whole is now woke.
Yeah, X-Men as a whole is now woke, but
is that an identity thing or like a gene mutant power type thing?
Morph has the same ability as Mystique.
Basically. So, but the thing about it was you have some, how can I put this ever so nicely, questionable individuals that now believe that the beloved series is woke because Morph could be seen as non-binary. And honestly, for a person that can practically morph into anyone, it kind of makes sense. But, you get individuals out there, oh, well, or my personal favorite, or how the fact that there's so much controversy about identity and politics and issues. I'm like, those people that you see at the beginning of X-Men, the first episode, where you have the whole Friends of Humanity pickets and that we can't stand mutants, they're on social media now. That's exactly what they are. And again, if you've never read an X-Men comic, number 1, or if you've never watched the animated series back in the 90s, number 2, X-Men is exactly what it's supposed to be. It is supposed to be these issues of strife, these issues of acceptance, these issues of beings that have powers that are different from us. That was what the whole freaking comic was about.
X-Men have been woke since the 60s. It's
yes.
Literally their thing is talking about the dream of being free of persecution.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Final Max is right. Shapeshifters tend to be whatever they want. Mystique usually is female, but can be anything she wants. Morph is usually male, but can be anything they want. They're both theys, but one just pick a gender they're most familiar with, transforming into, and roll with it.
And that's another thing too, is where I have to sit there and say this. Like, first off, not everything is woke. Just because it doesn't fit your narrative. Like, for example, X-Men was supposed to be accepted by everyone, just because of the fact that, well, 2 certain civil rights historical figures were based on the 2 main characters, which a lot of people have a hard time accepting. Which I'm like, well, if you look at Malcolm X, you see shades of Magneto. If you look at Professor X, you see shades of Martin Luther King. And Stan Lee literally sat there and confirmed this multiple times before his passing.
Although the older we get, the more we agree with Magneto. What does that say about us?
That we're not pacifists?
This is true. So, yeah.
If violence doesn't solve your problems, you're not using enough of it.
Right.
Yes, if you need not using enough violence, use extreme violence.
I
That just
saw the
requires
one
more
clip.
pouches. It's the
I
same
saw
amount
one-
of violence, you just have more pouches on you.
Where's it, Tafar?
I saw one clip today that was like, I guess it was like since the trailer's trending. Remember that time Charles and Magneto got into a fight? He made Magneto relive the Holocaust.
Yeah, that was kind of petty.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was the one. That was the one time Professor X kind of fought dirty. He really fought dirty.
Yeah,
on
one of your people is a Holocaust survivor, so also that.
Look,
And
in the end, and this has been said before, and I've made this joke before, the X-Men is just basically down to it's a messy breakup between Magneto and Charles, and everybody's caught in the fallout.
But you know the funny part is, just because we covered a certain X-Men comic during Fall of X, where literally Magneto kept on saying, "Charles, you damn fool! If you only listened to me so long ago," there's your Magneto was right tail right there.
So let's talk about some of the other controversies that we're dealing with, and some of the less political ones.
Go
A
for
lot
it.
of people are complaining that the voice cast doesn't sound quite right. You would be correct. That was 20 years ago. People's voices change. The
Mhm.
unfortunate thing is there's a curse on Cyclops where if you act as Cyclops, you're going to die.
Yep.
Because both Cyclops actors from Evolution and original 90s X-Men have passed away, unfortunately.
Mhm.
So
Oh, the
we
dude
get
from
a warning.
Evolution's gone too?
Yeah,
Yep,
he passed away.
The only surviving Cyclops one is from Wolverine and the X-Men.
Yeah.
And I mean, by that rate, y'all better hope they finish Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen fast.
I mean, right.
But
those the dude who plays Cyclops is also Tengen and Sukuna. So
Yeah, but the wild part is, like Joe was saying, was the whole thing of Magneto taking over the school. Again, this is following what happened. And this tells me off the bat that a lot of people never watched the entire animated series from beginning to end. Because if you did watch it from beginning to end, the initial idea, and they talked about this, the initial idea was that Charles would die and that Magneto would take over.
Give me a moment because I can actually physically show what's going to happen.
Oh, go for it. But I mean, for all those that don't know, that's exactly what was supposed to happen. That it was always the plan in the animated series for Magneto to take over the school. And because Charles did have a last one testament. So what you actually saw in the trailer was exactly how it was supposed to happen. And there, right there, is
This
Joe
is what
Hogan.
happens next, children.
Yeah.
New mutants. Because one of the new mutants that we're getting in this, one of the new characters in the X-Men series, is Sunspot, who's part of the New Mutants.
Yep.
And on top of that, we're also getting Operation Zero Tolerance in this show. That does not end well for anybody, by the way.
Nobody. But
I'm curious if that to me my X-Men calls at the end of the season, because I refuse to believe Logan obeyed that shit the first time it gets said.
Probably not. But I do love the fact of just the team ups. And I'm like, we always talked about that, especially reading comics. What if Gambit could empower Wolverine's claws? What if?
So I'm gonna say that's their really excuse to just pop in that stupid Wolverine power that was like around for 6 months.
Mhm.
Remember when he had hot claws?
Yeah. I'm not against that. I would be for that.
That's some Ultimate Alliance shit, and I like it.
Yeah. And I'm not, and again, that doesn't bother me. That's the stuff I would love to see that they could really have fun with during this series. Because we always talk about the fact of, oh, what would happen if Storm and Cyclops ever used their powers together? Or if Jean Grey really, I guess before her Phoenix forces really did something. But I'm not against that. I love every bit of it. But it's amazing to me that, of course, with anything new that does come out, folks are going to nitpick. There's always going to be nitpicking. There's always going to be, oh, this screams woke, or how could you morph like this, or how could you Jean like this? How is she pregnant? I thought, it's amazing to me. Why can't they just shut up and enjoy the show?
All right, so let's talk about the Jean thing. Jean can be pregnant. There are 2 Summers children, technically 3. One's an alternate timeline. We don't get into Nate Gray. That's just that's his own thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are theorizing, and this is not a big controversy. That this is just a big fan thing because Madeline Pryor is shown to be part of the series.
Mm-hmm.
We've shown to be her in her Goblin Queen form. So a lot of people are thinking the pregnant one is actually Maddie because she's pregnant, and everybody is thinking it's Nathan or Cable. For those unaware, Scott and Jean do have a different child together, which is Rachel Summers, woman with too many code names. She grows up to be on Excalibur and whatnot.
Yeah.
Currently, she's dating Captain Britain in the comics. So Jean could be pregnant with Rachel, or hear me out, the cartoon is its own universe and she is pregnant with Cable. Either way,
And
who
why not?
cares?
Right. Either way, it's a nice set off. But Safari, what are your thoughts on all this with X-Men?
No, we got one more controversy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Which is the biggest controversy that has struck the internet: the flattening of Rogue's butt.
Oh, I've seen people saying that, but I'm just like, I didn't get to properly experience
That
this
is right,
show.
people. You've heard it here. Rogue has been depowered. Give him a moment. I got him on this
Marvel
one.
that Marvel post production, I tell you.
Oh, I there's a joke there that I just can't say. I'm just gonna be like, oh, all I'm gonna say is
Rogue went and took some Slim Jims and then got depowered.
all I'm gonna sit there and say is, if midway through the season a figure changes, something got said. I'm gonna leave it at that. But Safari, real quick, your thoughts on X-Men 97, sir?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go back and watch the original show because I never had like full access to it growing up. So we only got, when Disney would put stuff on Jetix to promote whatever Fox Marvel movie was coming out with a tie-in.
Yeah.
So I saw like the Phoenix saga. I didn't know Charles died. I fully thought up until this point that was him in like Multiverse of Madness.
Oh no,
All right, I'm going to be really honest with you. When you go watch it, when the animation changes to the point where it feels like a truck hit you, stop watching.
Yeah. You'll know it when you see it. Trust me, you'll know.
I know they did the same thing with the new Avengers cartoon. 3 and 4 and 5 seasons look like a whole different show.
No. We're not talking about like that. Like, there is a vast change in animation.
Yeah, it's when we say night and day, we mean night and day. Like you'll think something wrong. You'll think something's wrong with your TV, or you'll think something's wrong with your mom.
Are we still watching the Fox X-Men? Like, what is this?
Right.
I'll take that into consideration, but I'm also curious to see if they tie in those other shows again. So if we get
yes, it actually has been confirmed Spider-Man will be in this.
Yeah.
Okay. So because didn't they just leave that Peter Parker like a tragic ass note? Like, didn't he like lose Mary Jane and a bunch of other?
We don't need to open up that wound.
Yeah, let's just say yes. let's just say yes and go from there.
So an updated look at him, Punisher, Blade, whoever else came into that X-Men cameo world that they had back then. I feel like they're gonna use the test the cameos, see who gets the best reactions, and be like, maybe we'll pick their show up next. Or maybe we get surprised with Spider-Man.
Well, it won't be Spider-Man because we know for a fact Spidey's getting a new cartoon.
Yes, he's getting a whole homeroom. Was it freshman year?
Freshman year, which is
I
originally
think
going to be
they're just calling it Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man now.
Okay.
Maybe it was supposed to be like a 90s animation. It was supposed to be like an early Tom Holland career, and they just switched it to be its own thing completely, which I think was a better decision.
Yeah.
But
it went from freshman year to Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Okay.
What was the other thing? So to answer your question, what happened with Spider-Man? Let's just say Mo. Let's go with Mo.
Yeah, that sums it up very nicely. But before we move on to our last trailer of the night, we gotta address this because, well, we don't want to be those guys that tell you not to watch a movie. Even though we don't want to be that. We don't want to be those people because number one, they don't pay us, and number two,
we're saving lives if we do.
Yeah,
my money was spent on better things today, and I never buy amiibos.
Oh yeah, because there's a lot of rare amiibos being re-released.
That's not Terry Bogard.
I'm sorry. I'm not the big. I know Terry's got like this whole franchise. I just never got that big into it. So I leave that. Every store I've been to, Terry's like 1 or 2 left. In my mind, leave that for the collector who's going to come through looking for it. Sora is top dog, and they only gave out one at like every store today.
Damn.
Yeah, but he only comes out once a decade. Didn't you guys have a Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer 5 years ago?
You gotta rub salt in that wound.
You know what it is? I think he even said they're dropping the trailer too early, and I think Disney was just like, middle finger, we're doing this anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, but speaking of movies, guys, like I said before, Madam Web did come out, and you've probably seen Dakota Johnson couldn't name 3 Spider-Man movies that Tom Holland was in. You probably saw that the stars of Madam Web were told that their movie would be connected to the MCU. That turned out to be a lie.
Yeah, I was joking when I said that in the group chat. That actually happened?
Yeah, they were informed that this movie would be connected. Come to find out that it wasn't. And it's just the fact that a lot of reviewers and influencers are really out there saying, okay, this is going to be trash. You shouldn't watch it. It's a waste of your time. We here at Get Big, guys, we're going to be completely honest with you. Between myself, Joe, and Safari, we never claim to be experts. We never claim to be critics. We never claim to be anything but guys who love fandoms and want to talk about their fandoms with you and everyone else that's within the sound of our voice and is watching their screens. That being said, me and Joe and Safari did all give our impressions of Madam Web, and it kind of felt like Sony kept on going back to the whole, we're going to keep trying to create a Spider-Man universe without Spider-Man and see how that works. It doesn't. It's been proven that it doesn't. But that being said, we don't want to fall into this trap of, oh, it's trash, you shouldn't go see it, and review bomb it, and negative bomb it, and Rotten Tomatoes it. We don't want to do that. We will give our opinions. Our opinions are, everybody has an opinion. You can choose to listen to it or not. It's up to you. But at the same time, there are a handful of people out there that said they did like Madam Web. Okay, good for you. But from all of us here, I mean, if you want to go see it, you're more than welcome to. If you want to wait for it to come out and find it through other means, you're welcome to do that too. But yeah, we can't review bomb, and we're not going to deter people from watching it because, again, some people, to be quite honest, some people liked Venom. Some people liked the second Venom movie, and even though it had a massive plot hole issue, some people did enjoy it. Some people actually even enjoyed Morbius to a certain extent, even though for a lot of us that's considered a dumpster fire. What we're basically saying here, guys, is just that don't trash it. Don't trash it to the point to where people who just want to see it want to go see it. Sometimes you gotta let people find that out on their own. But guys, anything you want to add more to that?
I looked up the writing team for this movie, and their greatest achievement was Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Which the Power Ranger movie was not bad, but also it's not exactly high art. Their other film credits were Morbius and Gods of Egypt.
Yeah. So I understand the whole not yet, but again, it's the whole idea of just, again, the premise of Madam Web actually being the alternate version, not the one we remember in the wheelchair from the animated series. The fact that it didn't feel like, and again, I think what Sony's issue is going to wind up doing is what Marvel figured out from the last couple of movies. You basically just pumped out movies without substance, without storylines, and without thought. So I think Sony is one of those. I think Sony right now is playing the game of insanity, to me. But what do you guys think?
If it was me, Dakota Fanning, an honest to God, or Dakota Johnson. Which one is this one? Which Dakota am I talking about? Thank you. Dakota Johnson. Sorry, guys. There's actually quite a bit of Dakotas.
I grew up with Fanning. I was from the Twilight era, so I get it.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. So I'm vindicated. I'm vindicated. I would have actually casted her as a Jessica Drew Spider-Woman and linked this into like her trying to be a double agent for S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra and slowly possibly bring back those plot lines into the MCU.
Yeah.
Or working with Fury in Saber, and then trying to root out a Hydra cell that's trying to rise back up, or AIM, or whatever. But you can make it, and I think she would do a good Jessica Drew. I honest to God do.
I can see that. What about you, Tafari?
I'm guessing the check from Sony bounced because I've seen them review movies terribly. I've never seen Rotten Tomatoes do a whole hit piece on the entire writing team and everything they've made. That was a new one. Like that was a very personal attack on a movie that was already not going to do well.
No, I mean, I can understand that too, but it's just like, for me, and I know, like I said before, we watched it before, and what did my Final Max say? Gods of Egypt is a guilty pleasure film. I mean, hey, if you like it, you like it. I can't knock you for that. And Dodge Dakota.
Spider-Verse might be nice, and when they do the web of like connected stories, they're probably in the room right now like, son of a bitch, we gotta write this shit in. They'll put her in her own little hectagon story, like, and that happened over there. We've addressed it. We're not touching it again.
And we're gonna leave it there, and the whole thing, we're gonna leave it there. I can see that. But again, guys, just to put a nice little bow on it, if you want to go see Madam Web, feel free. Just like we said, I hope that Sony learns from this. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, but because they still have Kraven and I think another movie they want to do. So I think they just figured, hey, we're just going to keep doing this until, we become Warner Brothers, I guess. But
that, or they might get the Warner Brothers treatment where there's like, isn't there like court stuff on Warner Brothers? Like, hey, stop shelving movies and telling people they're going to be full-fledged productions. Because if they find out they keep bringing people in with MCU ties, and then they yank all of it like 2 weeks before the movie comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Morbius had all the Spider-Man stuff taken out like apparently 2 weeks before it came out publicly.
Yeah.
So
it was
even the actors were like, but you left. We just left. I'm blanking on the name. We just left Michael Keaton over there apparently.
Oh yeah, it was a dumpster fire.
And apparently he's filmed some other stuff as Vulture, and we don't know what that is yet.
But actually, he was a good Vulture though, which is still crazy. But anywho, like I said. However you want to cut the mustard on that. If you want to spend your money and enjoy yourself, hopefully that you do. Invincible Season 2 Part 2, the trailer came out just yesterday. And before we play this, guys, understand Invincible is not a kid's show. I cannot stress this enough. It is not a kid's show. So again, the trailer that we are showing is in its full gority. Viewer discretion has been advised.
We're not the best superhero team on the planet. We're a family. And like any family, we're all messed up in our own unique way.
We go around saving lives while ruining them at the same time.
We will rebuild more. Count on that.
Your people must need your strength.
I'm sure they got it covered.
Behold, omnipotence tremble before my unlimited power! No.
Mark, I need you to go to space again.
What? I just got back.
We got a ship full of those Sequid things coming in hot. If they get their tentacles on Earth, they'll be pulling our strings forever.
We told you we were too powerful.
I guess we're all fucked.
How did a mere moment on Earth turn you into a weak, sentimental traitor? Answer me!
What's the occasion for such a fine suit?
I'm visiting an old friend. It is good to be home.
Die fast, assholes! My pizza's getting cold.
Your family's legacy is blood.
This is over.
I'll never let anyone
ever hurt my family.
I'm sorry.
And as you can see, guys, that was the trailer for Invincible Season 2 Part 2, because during COVID, they did actually have to split the series because actually it was COVID and the writer strike. So I apologize. It was two things. But the new episodes will be out March 14th. Again, I'm looking forward to it. There's nothing more I can say about Invincible. If you did enjoy the Robert Kirkman led run so far, I've got no issues with it. It's kind of like right up there with The Boys, in my opinion. So, yeah, there's no more to it except to just see what happens to Mark, especially his dad, because his dad is having an existentialist crisis right now. But Tafari, what do you think?
If that is Homegirl that we talked about on our show previously, like I said, Death by Snoo Snoo is going to have a whole new meaning.
Ooh, yeah, that part. For all those that don't know, I'm going to say this: read the graphic novel, and you'll understand why.
It's Broly stomping Goku into a crater and making it bigger each time he goes down, but X-rated.
Yeah,
and that's how far I see them taking it overboard, because the comic didn't do that. But seeing what they did with the Herogasm and The Boys, I'm just like, Amazon does not care.
Yep, and that's why I'm saying that might be the episode that might have multiple warnings on before they play it.
People are already in a... Yeah, I was surprised to see a warning when I watched Gen V, because that last episode is technically a school massacre.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which I'm really surprised they got away with that. For it to be Gen V, and they actually had that type of setting on there, and the fact that they got away with it really says a lot. I mean, it really truly does. But again, come March 14th, we're definitely going to find that out. But the last two bits of news that we have, guys, like I said, we had a lot, and because we had a lot, we did leave comics out this week, but we will come back with a more bigger load of comics. So that way we'll cover what we have this week and next week to make up for that. But we do got to talk about Xbox first, because Xbox decided on their podcast that, hey, we have news. And they kept blasting it. They kept pushing it up. They kept on really blowing it, saying, we have news that we're going to talk about on the podcast, which did actually show yesterday. And the news that they talked about, before we go really deep into that, number one, 4 Xbox games are coming to other platforms. They didn't say which 4 unnamed games they are. Joe has those. Joe actually has the rumored games themselves. Diablo 4 will be coming to Game Pass. Yes, that Diablo 4. The Diablo 4 that people may have paid for might be a little bit peeved that game is not going to be available on Game Pass come March 28th. They did talk about the layoffs that did actually happen, because, again, if you have been paying attention, Microsoft did lay off close to 1,000 employees 4 months ago, which, again, they did talk about the fact that they needed to, and this, I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I don't really cuss this much on this podcast, but it's kind of bullshit, because they try to sit there and say, in order for us to grow, we had to alleviate a lot of our workforce. To me, that's basically saying that we wanted to keep our profits, which, again, I didn't really like how they worded that. And of course, the rumor that Xbox is going to stop making consoles is basically a lie itself. They are planning to still build consoles well into the future. So we're not going to have another Sega-like company. Although Sega, if you're listening, the Dreamcast, I'm just saying, bring it back. It'd be freaking nice.
Dreamcast Mini, give me something like.
Yeah, I mean, the Dreamcast, I'm just saying, Sega, you are sitting on a gold mine right now if you choose to use it. Also, Xbox will release 10 games this year. Again, a lot of the games you already know about. Hellblade 2, Indiana Jones will be coming up, but they didn't say anything more from that. But that's basically the gist of it. Joe, what were the 4 unnamed games that were rumored to be coming over different platforms?
So there's 2 normal games and 2 live service games, from my understanding. And the reason why they were not announced is more than likely they are going to be in the Nintendo Direct that was supposed to come but got pushed back. I'm assuming Nintendo wanted to stay away from the Xbox backlash. I feel like every time Phil Spencer comes on this thing, it's always to apologize. Yeah. Like seeing him is just an omen of, oh, they screwed up again.
Mm-hmm.
So the 4 games, which are probably more than likely almost 100%, but again, this is all hearsay. This is just what everybody's been saying across the thing, is Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment are your 2 standard games. then Sea of Thieves and Grounded are going to be your 2 live service games.
Okay.
Hi-Fi Rush will probably make money hand over fist going to the Nintendo Switch. I can almost bet that.
I feel like that would be too taxing on a Switch, so probably.
I don't know anything about Pentiment right off the bat. Sea of Thieves is your MMO pirate game. Your something
fun to
about
play.
pirate game.
It's fun to play.
Then I have no idea what Grounded is.
But it's Sea of Thieves is kind of like basically black. It's like the black version of Assassin's Creed, just lighthearted. So something it's geared more toward kids as far as playing like Fortnite and things of that nature, but still fun. But the thing I say about go for it.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No.
The one thing I want to add is, guys, this is a good thing in the grand scheme of things. This means everybody wins.
Mm-hmm.
If you are our age and are still thinking there is a console war going on, you are hurting the industry.
Yeah.
There's no reason for this anymore. Like, there's no reason to be in a Nintendo camp. Nintendo has since the GameCube, Nintendo says, we're not in this anymore. We're going to march at our own pace.
Mm-hmm.
So it's gone to Xbox and Sony. And at first, they had a healthy competition. Now in the grand scheme of things, as we're getting older, like, what does it matter who's on what? Like, for us, you have any idea how quickly we would buy Killer Instinct on PlayStation?
That's true.
Like, in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
The online scene itself would explode if Killer Instinct went multiplayer.
Oh, yeah. Like, every game would be dead. Like, it would be the new Tekken 8.
Yep.
Which is pretty solidly burying everybody else right now. I mean, as much as I like Street Fighter right now, as much as I love Street Fighter,
it is kind of
burying everything.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, you can go watch my games over on Total Justice Gaming. I am playing it over there. But shameless plug aside, that mentality needs to go. Microsoft is a software publisher to begin with. That is their bread and butter. Console hardware is not their thing.
Yeah.
Microsoft is a program. We run Windows on just about everything. Our PCs are not Microsoft PCs. They're Dell, they're Packard, they're homebrew. They do not. Okay, actual real question for you, Will. Does Microsoft actually make like tower hardware?
Used to. Not anymore.
Okay,
but used to.
Once upon a time.
Yeah, once upon a time they did, but not anymore.
Like, the only thing I don't understand that people getting arms up is like, well, Game Pass should come to this. Like, Game Pass is not going anywhere. Game Pass is the only thing keeping the Xbox hardware alive.
Yeah.
If you can get an S, which is cheap, you don't need to buy a game for it. Just get Game Pass. That's all you need. And
that's and just to add to that, because for me, the entire Xbox podcast to me was a miss. This kind of felt like this could have been an email of a podcast. Because
I learned today they had a podcast.
Yeah. And on that podcast, they usually announce games. Like, you'll get some game announcements, you'll get some interviews with the game developers, really some cool stuff. But this particular podcast, it was like, what? This feels like one big ass apology that was unnecessary. Like, okay, you could have told us what games you have coming out. You could have told us what games are going to be exclusive. You could have told us, this whole A, B, and C. I didn't get the whole layover. I did not get the whole layover excuse. There was no reason. You laid off 1,000 employees. You laid off 1,000 employees from Microsoft. You're telling us, the consumer, that everything is fine. At the same time, you acquired so many IPs. You literally had a raging hard-on for Activision Blizzard, to the point to where you fought antitrust laws across 3 different continents to finally acquire Activision Blizzard. And again, it amazes me so that when Activision got acquired by Microsoft, every Call of Duty fan got nervous. Oh, it's going to make Xbox exclusive. Why would it need to be exclusive? Xbox can make money off you guys because if you're a Call of Duty fan, and again, I'm not knocking you if you are, but let's also be honest, you're probably paying every year that game comes out, you're paying that $70 to $100. So they're going to make money off you regardless if it's exclusive or not. Like Joe also said, there's no competition in the console. The console war isn't there anymore. It isn't. There's no. To be quite honest, the console war really did end after PlayStation 3. It was almost because at that point, E3 became irrelevant. PlayStation 4 was coming. Say what's apart?
Rest in peace, E3.
Yeah, EC3 was pretty much going downhill. At the same time, game developers were really stepping on their own. And the big three that you had, which was Nintendo, Microsoft, and honestly PC, because again, Steam and Valve and EA Origin was starting their own game libraries. So there was no such thing as a console war anymore. So with that also being said, now we wonder about games. We wonder about what are you guys having for the next ones out? Because let's be honest, as gamers, we are an insatiable bunch. We are hungry for games. Like, for example, Final Fantasy VII, with the fact that we had Remake and now Rebirth coming out, and everybody, including myself, present company included, is drooling to play that, or ready to play the next espionage game that Mr. Hidamo will come up with after he gets through with Death Stranding 2. It may not be Metal Gear because they're too busy remaking Metal Gear on the other side with Konami giving us Snake Eater Delta. At the same time, we know there's always going to be another Mario game. We know there's going to be another Mario Kart game. We look forward to the next Zelda game, even though Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom were beautiful. But me and Tafari have said this also too. Imagine Ocarina of Time being remade on today's graphics. You couldn't do that on the Switch. Don't get me wrong. The Switch is a great machine. But if you try to do Ocarina of Time on Switch graphics, you basically have an upgraded Tears of the Kingdom. And that's going to tick a lot of fans off. Because we've seen what happens when you have the Unreal Engine, the Resident Evil engine. We see the fact that there should be more collaboration. And if you had that, you would have better games. But at the same time, going back to Xbox, you basically wasted our time basically saying nothing and giving us nothing. So
yep,
that to me was the part that bothered me the most. What did you say, Mr. Final Max? The console war was nothing more than a stupid graphical arms race that hurt games for a long time. Yeah, completely agree. It did hurt games for a long time because they tried to push hardware. They tried to push hardware for no other reason, because every time an Xbox came out, a Nintendo came out, a PlayStation came out, you had PC guys on your side going, we've already got that. And again, as a person that builds PCs, I can tell you the graphics cards, for all those that build PCs right now, graphics cards, RAM, and just overall motherboards right now, it's the Wild West out there, especially if you're trying to find certain RAM sticks. I'm telling you that from experience. Good freaking luck is right. But no, Xbox could have gave us a lot more in this podcast, but really they gave us lip service. And honestly, that lip service kind of leads into my last thing that we're going to talk about, because we were expecting, along with Xbox news, we were expecting Nintendo news. Nintendo sat there and said, yeah, we'll wait till next week. And the reason why is because they were just as curious as we are about what Xbox was going to talk about. So Nintendo did have a direct that was supposed to happen this week, but because of Xbox's business update, they decided that, yeah, we're going to wait till next week to talk about it. And again, Nintendo Direct has usually had some great releases. I mean, the last couple of ones, I believe, were Pokemon, Monster Hunter, Tears of the Kingdom updates. I know I'm missing another game they were talking about that got released as well. Say one more time, Joe.
The Peach game.
Oh, the Princess Peach.
Right.
Game. So Nintendo knows where its bread and butter is. Honestly, they know where their bread and butter is. They know that a lot of their games are family oriented, or even games that we love, like Metroid. I would love another Metroid Prime game. I would love to see, dare I say, another Mega Man game. I would love to see Capcom give us something. But I mean, we won't find out what Microsoft is going to do till next week, but I hope that Microsoft has learned from. I would hope that Microsoft has learned from. I'm sorry. I would hope that Nintendo has learned from Microsoft, and hopefully will give us a better direct. But guys, just as we were kind of wrapping this up here on this subject, if we're expecting anything from Nintendo Direct next week, what do you guys think we're going to get? What do you guys think we're actually going to see or hear about?
I can see. I feel like if it's not something special, it's just going to be a basic series of games. Like I joke about it, but it's serious. Nintendo only allows fun during the springtime and summer.
Yeah.
After this, they stopped talking to us completely from fall until like next January. Also, I saw something about like Sakurai is officially done today, so I would be surprised if he comes on screen to basically say goodbye forever once this is done.
I can see that,
and possibly a tease of the Switch 2 because that's trending again.
Yep. Oh, maybe a Mario Kart announcement. I mean, it is
They've
kind of.
They've been doing a lot of. They've been doing good with the DLC packs for Mario Kart, so we could get a new announcement for some tracks.
Yeah, which I would not be. And again, I would not be against that. But Joe, what do you think?
Well, if it was up to me, I'd have them announce the Zelda HD collection for the Wind Waker and the other games that are still trapped on the Wii U and whatnot. But
Twilight Princess,
Twilight Princess. I would want those to be on the Switch. I don't know why they're not. I see that as a missed opportunity. There's a chance in the far, far distant future they could finally announce the mythical unicorn that is the Switch 2. Or the unbelievable diamond-studded unicorn that is Metroid Prime 4.
That is a unicorn that, you know what? Let me not say that.
That's a unicorn with the winning lottery ticket.
They would need to show the Switch 2 effectively running Mortal Kombat 11.
That part. But again, it
Mortal
makes
Kombat
me wonder.
1.
But I mean, if you really think about the Switch 2, what more could they go from that? I mean, they did. I mean, when the Switch first came out, it was brilliant. You did a portable game that had a stand that multiple people can play with from Jump Street, and you had a library of games. You had the Nintendo channel, Sega channel, Super NES channel, and I think now N64 channel, to where you can play different games in the library via subscription service. What more can we expect out the Switch outside of updated graphics and maybe expanded memory?
That's all we really need.
Because that's all you're getting. I mean, I can't think of anything else, because the portable gaming system that they came up with is a working solution.
We could probably also see a Pokemon announcement.
If
either
it is
remakes of Soul Silver or Heart Gold, or the Black and White remakes, or new Pokemon Legends.
I can see that too. And also, a GameCube channel. That's another one. If they decide to go that route.
Online services or online lobbies added to some of the older games, possibly.
Yeah. Or some games.
I question about everything with the GameCube channel, because we're getting most of the GameCube games that were on there already remade. So like our Luigi's Mansion or Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, all the GameCube tracks are already in Mario Kart 8 via DLC. Like, unless you guys really want Wave Race.
Wave Race 64.
Yeah, Wave Race on the game from the GameCube. Or look, I only want one game that was stuck on the GameCube. It's never coming. But I would like Hulk Ultimate Destruction.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Beautiful Joe. That's another one.
I got that one on. I had to get that one on PS2 because I got the wrong copy on GameCube. I don't know why Dante was PS2 locked.
But I'm just saying, just from Nintendo, like I said, not there being a console war, Nintendo could really stand out. That's why I'm wondering with the Switch 2, if they're doing anything. I would like to think it's an increase in hardware, but I hope they stay with the portable idea. The portable idea is what makes it work for them. The portable idea is where Sony tried to do that little PSP handheld console, and that's a whole nother mess. Xbox didn't even try it, which again is smart, because for Xbox you can really just have an app on your have an app on a internet handy device. So you can play your Xbox from anywhere, which again, smart, great, not knocking it. But yeah, it's the whole idea of just what they come up with next week is just going to be an interesting question. That's about the best way I could put that. But again, Xbox truly do better. That's all we're saying. But like I said, guys, we're going to pretty much leave it there because, again, we had a lot of trailers and news. Sadly enough, we did not have time to do comics. We will cover comics and then some next week, next Friday. So as we're rolling out, guys, Tafari, do you want people to know where they can find you and what you're up to, sir?
Yes, you can find me here on all platforms at Tafari TV. I am on pretty much every piece of the internet you can find me on. I do skits and all kinds of stuff, usually on Mondays because Mondays are terrible, so I try to make them less terrible. I also do the editing for the Blurred's Eye View podcast, so be sure to check it out. We are uploading every single day of February in order to try to get our watch hours and celebrate the beautiful history of Black History Month. Also, just because we had to deal with it last night, your block, ban, and delete buttons are your best friends. Do not spend a 30-day sentence in Meta Maximum Security. The algorithm is nice to us this time. Do not waste it.
I mean, you might as well enjoy it while you got it. But thank you, Tafari, for that. Well, that's not what I wanted, at least not yet. Joe, what about you, sir?
I'm streaming Tekken.
I was going to ask,
pretty much all I have time for now.
I was going to ask, how's that going?
I'm slowly climbing into the red ranks. I'm getting out of the orange ranks.
Nice.
Meaning I'm fighting people that are actually really good at the game that have been playing Tekken 7 for the past 10 years. So I'm getting there.
Not to cut you off. Also, not to cut you off, Joe, we have to get this as we have to do our daily King Players crying announcements. If you are literally annoyed at King Players because you can't break the combos, don't call it spamming. It's called getting better. It's called tutorials. It's called practice. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna say you can't. It's not spamming if they beat you to the punch. But what are you gonna say, Joe?
I'm confused as to what we're talking about.
Oh, King.
What about him?
With his combos and people complaining.
I grab him before he grabs me. What's the problem?
See, you figured it out though. You figured it out. There is a whole mess of people out there that are complaining that King is overpowered. He's this, that, and the other.
I'm like 3D arena, just dodge and launch counter.
But Joe, that's right there. You use strategy. You use strategy and movement. You think, sir. There's a difference.
Attack low.
That's what I'm saying. You think differently, sir. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I've been prodding the grabs, and I'm hitting every button on my controller to try to get out of the combos, but he's gonna grab you. It's like Zangief asking Zangief not to SPD you. It's gonna happen.
Right.
The only difference is you have to get grabbed like 5 or 6 times with King.
That's fair. But aside from that, sir, besides where they can find you on Show a Guy Joe, and of course your Twitch stream and Joe's Italian last name. Anything else going on?
No, Total Justice Gaming is where you can find the Tekken. Show a Guy Joe is where you can find this and the Super Sentai stuff, which reminds me tomorrow is the press conference for Boon Boonger, so we may stream that live. We finally get to find out who's being what, and then once the show takes off in March, I will hopefully be doing a podcast or a watch show with other friends and do an episode recap right after as we watch the episode. God willing, we find a way to keep the copyright bots off our butt because Toho will come after a very small channel. They won't come after their precious people that have 1,000 subscribers for talking about people in color spandex with explosions. They'll definitely go after a guy with only 7 subscribers.
Yeah, they do not play, but
at all.
Right. They don't play at all. But aside from that, guys, some shameless plugging before we do get out of here. Like I said, usually we talk about Rick's Comic City during the comics, but we are not going to leave them out. Rick's Comic City, Nashville's #1 place for comics. Again, guys, If you are in the Middle Tennessee area, please check them out. They have been voted Nashville's #1 go-to place for comics. They have 2 locations, Nashville and Clarksville, Tennessee. They also have their website at rickscomicscity.com, where you can order comic books, pull lists, hardcovers, things of that nature, memorabilia, collectibles, posters, figurines. They basically got it all. When you do go in there, let them know that us guys at Get Bit sent you. It does not get you any discounts. However, they show us love because when you go in there, you see me and Joe's handsome mugs on television. So again, let them know because they show us love. Definitely check out Rick's Comic City in Nashville and Clarksville, Tennessee. If you are not in the Middle Tennessee area, guys, I cannot stress this enough. Support your local comic book stores. Support your local libraries. I cannot stress this enough, because these are the last places where you can actually get physical books. Yes, I know Barnes & Noble is there. I know FYE is here. I know multiple other places where you can get. Joe is holding up the card. Read the banned books. We cannot tell you off the bat that in this day and age, there are people out there that are trying to make sure that you're not reading certain books. As Mr. Stephen King once said himself, read the books they don't want you to read because there's something that you should know they don't want you to find out. So kids, at the library, definitely ask for the banned book list. You will enjoy it. At the same time, guys, support your local comic book stores. You won't know what you find in these small stores. Definitely shop small because you can find a collection that you want in these stores. You may actually find a hard-to-find item that you never thought you'd run into, or a collectible. But again, let's keep these doors open by shopping there and not the big places. I know the temptation, but let's shop small. Let's stay at our local libraries. Let's stay at our local comic book stores. And honestly, that's going to keep the world going, in my opinion. Also, read the banned books. Also, let me point out BlurredStation.com. Myself, Safari, and others are a part of this conglomerate that is for people of color and for blurs. If you like comics, they have it. If you like mangas, they have it. If you like television shows, they have it. If you have entertainment, it is all there. You can basically log in, and if you'll be so kind to select the Blurred's Eye View Affinity membership, select any Affinity member there. And again, it's $10.99 a month. Yes, $10.99 a month. The price hasn't changed. And after 36 months of paying $10.99 a month, you get the option of owning a piece of Blurred Station. It's a lot better than trying to get a piece of Netflix, Amazon, or Amazon Prime or Hulu, where you have to pay an assload amount of money through a stock exchange to get a small stock of one. This is a hell of a lot easier. So definitely check out BlurredStation.com, guys, because again, it's basically something for us, by us to enjoy, but we honestly cannot do it without you. Also, at the same time, if you are a content creator looking for a new home, also check out Blurred Station. Go to the FAQ section, and you'll be able to talk to someone about your content. Because the beauty part about Blurred Station is, guys, the content that they show there is yours to keep. They are only wanting the distribution. And I don't know about you guys, in a day and age where content is king, owning something is great. You definitely do not want another Tubi situation. As for myself, guys, you can find me, BlackBox447, on all the socials. I do reviews on mostly everything, even gym stuff, because I like to try to stay in shape. Again, the link that is trolling at the bottom, guys, if you'll copy and paste that link into your browser, it'll take you to our link tree. That's YouTube and Facebook groups for all of our podcasts. How the Frick We Got Here, Get Bit, and Off Limits podcast. Like, share, subscribe, follow, tell people about it. We cannot stress this enough, that we cannot do this without you. We need your, and again, I'm not just talking donations, but hey, like every religious organization, we're not going to say no to donations, but sharing is free. Following is free. Telling people about it is free. Word of mouth is free, guys. And like we say here at Get Bit, we cannot do this without you. So thank you to everybody that liked, that commented, that followed, that shared. Again, from me and Joe and Safari, thank you for the bottom of our hearts. But again, the mission isn't done. We simply cannot do any of this without you. So with that also being said, as we wrap this up, guys, again, we'll be back here next Friday, same Get Bit time, same Get Bit channel. Again, we will have a lot more comics. Like I said, we're definitely going to catch up on that and try to basically make up for it, because again, there's a lot of great comic stories out there. Beyond that, the last before that, guys, any last words we call tonight?
No.
Man, have a good weekend, everybody.
So the last thing I'll say about Get Bit, guys, again, it's all about fandoms. We love them, we share them, we discuss them, we debate them. The last thing we need to be, guys, is gatekeepers and toxic fans. We do not want to turn people away from the things we love. We want them to embrace it, find their fandom, and hopefully do the same thing, because there's peace in fandom, there's love in fandom, there's support in fandom. What we don't need, in the words of Will Wheaton, are dicks in fandom. Because, again, nobody should be a dick when it comes to sharing something that you love. So, with that being said, guys, thank you all for watching. Well, of course, the playback will be on this tomorrow. We still want to know your opinions on everything that we talked about tonight, guys. And again, so very much, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for watching. Definitely like, share, follow, subscribe, all the great things. And on top of that, don't be a dick. Peace.